if you consider digital property, that's $100 to $200 trillion addressable market. So I would think it goes from 10 trillion to 100 trillion as people start to think of it as digital property. 500,000, right? That's a $10 trillion. 5 million, that's a $100 trillion asset. Yeah, I think it keeps going up, 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 going up forever, going up forever. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Missouri's looking to go to 10 million points. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Gold was that low frequency money. Property is a mid-frequency money, but when I start to program it faster, it starts to look like digital energy. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Going up, going up. Missouri's looking to go to 10 million points.
G'day everybody and welcome to the DeFi Down Under happy hour, and g'day to my old mates True Blue and 43. How you guys going?
Yo man, going good.
Yo,
you're
yo.
the only talking head on the screen at the moment, but
That's
yeah,
it.
no, I'm not able to be no camera today, but yeah, going good, man. What a bullish week, and just how many memes can be made out of this week, eh? That video showed a lot
Oh
of
man, yeah. How's that intro, man? I was like putting stuff
That was
together, and I'm
unreal.
just thinking there was so many. It's like it's been a hectic week, hey. Like,
so good.
Like it started off like just crazy over the weekend with that Trump meme coin and all the Baron memes, like the Lisan Al Gaib memes, where it's like, you know, Baron's going to take us like Ethereum to the promised land and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then it was a bit of a sell the news a little bit, like with the inauguration.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything got hammered, and then like all like that Trump coin just sucked all the liquidity across all the chains.
Definitely.
And it almost showed that there was not that many new people, because it was like people were selling down existing assets to get into that Trump meme coin. So
exactly.
I mean, I'm sure there was heaps of new people coming in. I think there was some metric actually on Solana that a lot of the people who bought that Trump meme coin had never bought meme coins on Solana before. So it was just a lot of dollars, like just billions of dollars.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if Phantom moved up in downloads, you know, the Phantom wallet and stuff for people jumping in. But yeah, it was unreal how it all took place. But you can see Bitcoin still, like, it, you know, it's not at the all-time high, but we still broke the all-time high again. And now it's just settled back down again. And I think everyone's just recovering from what was that Trump meme coin just stirring the market up so much. It was, and I just see that as like, you know, people think, oh, it's him taking all this money. If it is, that's great. But on the other hand, I feel like that just gives crypto the green light, like, let's go. because he's not even hiding the fact that he launched it. It's just like, yeah, I did. So what?
Yeah, and like I love that video that he just says he's going, oh, how much did I make? And he's like, billions. That's peanuts for these guys. Like he just brushed it off like a Chad, like just like, so what?
Yeah, he was ready for that. It was great.
The interesting thing about that, I mean, that was just a Chad move, but the way that Trump sort of launched this meme coin has actually given me a bit of confidence with the RH case, because it's like it's hard to stand on ceremony if you're like the American government or, you know, the SEC and sort of say, oh, look, you know, this is a illegal security offering and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the president of the United States just launched a meme coin, bro. Like, your 100%. Argument is case dismissed. Like, it's just, you've just
exactly
undermined your position. But so that's bullish, I think, for us. In fact, I actually called the top on the day for this this Trump coin. So
sure did. Look at you go.
This was like 71. I mean, it was like $70, $72, $73 when I sold. But I was like, then I did the tweet, and I was like, oh, it's got to be time to, you know, sell some Trump.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking, well, you know, it could go higher, but it did break down. Like there's these three, like, I guess, diagonal resistance that it busted through. And so I was just like, that's a parabola now. It's going parabolic. And if it gets rejected off this one, which I think it did at around about 74, 75, then that's all she wrote. And that was like the top. Had a lot of people telling me, nah, bro, it's going to $100, blah, 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 you know? And I was
that's
like,
always the narrative, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like people like round numbers. And it's like, yeah, but this chart it's like, that's like on the 5-minute chart as well.
Yeah.
So it was pretty hectic. But yeah, then you rotate it into Hex on PulseChain. That's what I did. And then, you know, Hex on PulseChain was at the lows when that was at the highs. So it was a good good rotation.
Damn
it's
good
been
move.
A crazy week. A crazy week in crypto, and that Trump stuff, that Trump coin stuff, just for us in particular. I'm sure the wider community don't give a shit. They probably don't even know about it. But for us in like the crypto community, it was such a big thing. It's just like the audacity, the audacity of Trump to release.
So you're putting up a bit, 43.
Am I breaking?
It's all right. You maybe just speak a bit louder or something. I'm not sure. There you go.
Sorry. Yeah, let me see. Okay. Yeah, so the audacity to release for inauguration. I wonder whether that was like a measured move to avoid I don't know, to avoid any legal stuff to do with the president doing something
because
like
it was
that.
Before. Yeah,
it was before the inauguration.
It was
like
before
it must.
the
It must.
inauguration.
It was just before. It was just before when there would be maximum hype. So clearly, people who were organizing that or planning it, well versed in the meme culture and how things are going to play, like how things play out. But I'm surprised it didn't crash down lower. It's sort of like, where's it at now?
True.
Like,
I think it's like $30 or something now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's that? A 60%, 50% drop.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad. How much FOMO there was.
But it could go lower, right? Like that. Sometimes you get that second, like, it's not over and then it's over. You know what I mean? And then it goes the full 85% down. And then maybe it's worth buying.
Oh, we had that. We've had that for 3 years in Hex, and you know what I mean. Like, and now we're like 3.5x up from the bottom, which is beautiful. But I think everyone's like waiting with bated breath. Like we all really want to see what happens with this case.
What is up, Abdul? Fast Abdul, even faster than just regular Abdul.
At this time, I'm just of night. I'm just regular Abdul.
Just slow Abdul. Sleepy Abdul.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular Abdul. That's cool. It's good that you've joined us from the dojo
Yeah.
after a few rounds.
Indeed.
I actually got kneed in the head. I don't know if you can see this cut on my. I got kneed in the head on Tuesday. So there was so much
a
blood.
mini vagina there, a mini goat's vagina.
Oh, mate, it was so much blood. You know, the head just.
Oh yeah, it bleeds a lot all the time.
It's like, oh,
For
sorry
a
about
sport
that.
with no punching or kicking, there's sure a lot of you do get hit in the head a lot, and it's usually a knee or an elbow.
This was a knee, so it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us, Fast Abdul. We're just talking about that Trump meme coin thing that sucked all the liquidity out of across all the chains. And then, I think a lot of people sort of tended to rotate back into the coins that they liked, which was bullish. But I guess, in terms of motivation, because 43 made an interesting point about how it was just before the inauguration. I think also, if you look at that Arkham, and you have a look at the World Liberty Finance, and you see how they're positioning themselves with ETH and Link and a few others, but mainly Ether. It's like there's definitely accumulating, and even with Wrap BTC, they're definitely planning. They've been accumulating, and there's going to be some more bullish things we talk about later. But a lot of people had sent Trump meme coins to these addresses like MAGA and things like that, and I reckon there would have been a point where they would have said, "Hang on a tick, why are we pumping these other people's bags? Why are we pumping this MAGA bag? Why don't we just create our own meme coin? If we're going to have a meme coin that's loosely associated with us, why don't we just actually launch one?" And then they did, and then they profited, squillions or peanuts, depending on who you ask.
Indeed, but I think it's probably bigger than that. Hey, we can make a lot of money, right? It's definitely it's the president of the United States. To say if it's okay for the president, then it's probably okay. It's it sort of sets a precedent, no pun intended, that
precedent. Yeah,
it's okay to do crypto, right?
There was that very bullish statement in an executive order. Did you see the tweet that there was a paragraph highlighted that said that it was totally okay for individuals to interact with these things and decentralized finance, all that sort of stuff.
I think
it's very bullish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think Hexologist just did it, so I can probably pull. Oh, here it is. So yeah, this is shout out to Hexologist. He's obviously super Chad of the PulseChain ecosystem, and I actually really enjoyed watching the inauguration and other events like the Ethereum merge or whatever through Hexo's channel, seeing his commentary on it, and it was funny. The other day he was getting rugged. He got rugged 10 times trying to do that stream. It was hilarious.
Getting copyright banned by YouTube, right?
Yeah, and everyone was just piercing ourselves laughing. He kept changing little things and then getting rugged, but we were still there in the chat. It was funny.
So good. Hey, what's even better with Hexologist? He's just got a mini Richard Hart AI on his streams. I don't know if you've seen that. That is, I know Fast Abdul was on there the other day, and man, it is hilarious.
Yeah, the dong.
The funniest stuff ever. The way this AI responds is just, he's brutal.
But AI Richard was fudding our bags the other day. He was saying bad things about Trump. Yeah, he's just rude for the sake of being rude. It's pretty funny.
I was listening to the Hexologist, and I had my kids in the car for.
Oh no!
And it just happened to be when Richard, when Robo Richard was replying, and he just went hammer and tongs. He went so hard, in the paint, and it was just like swear words, and he was talking about I think he was replying to maybe you, Fast Abdul. He was talking about.
It could have been. I'm gonna send you guys the clip because it's actually super hilarious.
It is so good.
This was that phrase I think you were talking about, 43, where this is some White House.
Let's read this. Let's read this. Protecting and promoting the ability of individual citizens and private sector entities alike to access and use for lawful purposes open public blockchain networks without persecution including the ability to develop and deploy software, to participate in mining and validating, to transact with other persons without unlawful censorship, and to maintain self-custody of digital assets. Amazing.
Let's go.
Never has any government like of any note written anything or released anything like that. That is,
I know.
This is unique, a unique moment.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
It is huge. And think of the alternative, right?
That
So
he said something about CBDCs, about like banning CBDCs, which is a big deal as well.
Yeah, I've got a video that actually talks about a lot of this stuff as well. This is the David Sachs, when he was talking about a lot of he breaks it down. It's pretty bullish. But yeah, there was quite a few things. Even last night, there was that Lummis lady, the Cynthia Lummis, and they're having some task force or something. And it's like new crypto task force, SEC crypto 2.0. That's so funny. And yeah, it seems like part of it is, so this happened last night, is they're pushing for the Bitcoin strategic reserve. So yeah, that's bullish news as well, that they're actually sort of following up with these promises, like the election promises, and they're ticking some boxes. I mean, Ross Ulbricht out of jail. He's a free man.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
welcome.
Everyone in crypto, like pretty much everyone in crypto, welcomes that, because that was way over the top. Like, arguments can be made whether he like was in some way responsible for stuff that happened, but double life
time
in prison
served
plus,
as well. Time served, like how many years was that? Like
crazy
13
over
years
the
or
top.
something?
Punishment when there are people who rape and murder and they're free. So to have a guy like that
violent
free,
crimes,
pardoned, it's great. And I think what I'm the most interested to see play out over the course of the next year or two is what other countries like Australia, Canada, the UK do in relation to the crypto stuff, right? Because we are, traditionally we're very aligned with what the US does. I'm interested to know how our politicians react to it, and whether they take heed. They think it's a passing fad because of Donald Trump, and it'll come back after. But I'm really interested. I'm watching to see what happens.
Yeah, well,
awesome,
I agree. Yesterday, I was watching the EU politicians all talking about the crypto regulations, and all of their pollies were having their 1 or 2 minutes to put their bid in, and most of them were all saying we've got to hurry up and embrace it, because otherwise everyone else will before us. And they were all basically behind it. There was always that couple of people that were saying, oh no, this is but people do bad things with crypto money and on the black market and stuff, but most of them understand what it's about now, and they're all just saying we need to hurry up and get this done. So I think everyone's going to be like that.
Did any of you see Donald Trump speak at the World Economic Forum? He was answering some questions for about half an hour. Very interesting questions about regulation, and he really put it to the EU, and he was saying, listen, you guys just have way too much regulation, to the point where it's impossible for us to really do anything of any substance with you, because there's just too much red tape. So I think he's going to put pressure on them, and I'm really happy that Trump's in power, right? But one of the things that I love about his method is he is such a negotiator. Like, I heard him on 2 separate occasions when he's like talking about like some sort of partnership with a country, or where they offer a figure or a number, and then he goes, yeah, but we're going to try and get that up like to $1 trillion. He was talking about Saudi Arabia, going into a deal with him for $600 billion. And he's like, yeah, but we hope that they get up to $1 trillion. So just lazily puts it on the table. That's like such a on such a high level.
He did that with the AI thing as well. He was talking about this, this AI, I forget what it was called, but it was like Stargate or something. And he was saying he was in negotiations with someone and they were talking about investing 100 billion. And he said, well, maybe we could make it 200 billion. And then they ended up going for 500 billion. And it was like, oh, okay, we're just throwing stupid numbers around, are we?
Yeah.
What's up, Mayo? I just want to say, g'day, Mayo. How you going there, bro?
What's up, Mayo?
Sneaking here silently.
Stuck in the back door there, mate. How you going?
Yeah, that's the way the government likes to do it to us, isn't it? Sneaking the back door.
Right, with no fucking lube, with a pineapple. Bloody hell. How's your Aussie Day weekend kicking off? You got the weekend off for Aussie Day?
Yeah, but I've got to move house, so we're packing, doing the yard, sweating my fanny off, sweating my tits off.
Have a cold beer, mate. Hard-earned fur.
Oh, I'm on the hydrogen water at the moment, trying to be healthy after the last few weeks of the silly season.
Nice.
Playing catch up on everything you're talking about here with Trump and everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's been a lot happening. In fact, this video was pretty funny.
Do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
So cocky.
That is brilliant.
That is, it's quality. I just want to say hello to the chat as well. Trigal, what is up? Happy Friday. And McNuggets, what is up, bro? So yeah, we've got the regulars here. G'day, Claz. Doing the hard yards with the baby. Hi-ho Hex. Yeah, are we there yet? It is a little bit like that. Like we're just sort of in that sort of waiting zone, aren't we? Could Trump coin be copying MicroStrategy? Yeah, I guess. So are you saying getting a loan out against Trump coin and then buying more Trump coin? I don't know. That would be super risky if he did that. But I guess it's possible. What is up? Hey, Putting Guru. There you go. We've got a golfer in the house. Ash, what is up? How you going, mates? Always good to see you. And of course, HEXican Lost in Asia champion. Easy days ahead. Wow, it's been hard. I feel like HEXicans have been, speed running crypto on bloody hard mode, and it's been a little bit hectic. But now, like we say, with this Trump coin thing, hopefully the landscape, the political landscape has changed a little bit, and with the new regulatory framework that's being, proposed, I feel like there's a lot more bullish things to look forward to, and potentially case dismissed for the with the RHSEC thing.
Yeah, what do you think is left after all those things that you just mentioned in that that highlighted text? What's left to tick off for the PulseChain ecosystem? It's really just the like the SAC funds and what like the Interpol stuff obviously is a bit separate, but that's towards RH himself rather than the PulseChain ecosystem. So what's actually left there to tick off?
I think it's the ETH BTC ratio is what we're looking at. We need, if the SEC stuff went away, because Somi talks about this, and shout out to Somi, we might get that 2x, because we got chopped in half after the SEC thing. But really, you might say that PulseChain's lack of performance is probably a reflection on Ethereum's lack of performance. So now everyone's getting bullish again on Ethereum, thinking that it's about time that we see ETH at 5K and onwards. I feel like that's going to be the real catalyst once ETH starts, that ETH BTC ratio starts going up. then
for
PulseChain's going to see, leverage on that.
Yeah, I agree. But what about with the the litigation and stuff that he's going through with the court case? What else needs to be ticked off after those items that you just mentioned? Because there's not that covers most of it.
Yeah. I mean, if they get the dismissal for jurisdiction grounds, I think it's even less likely that they would appeal it now, because you can always just point to this Trump coin and just be like, "What's up?" And also all these changes that we talked about. So then there's the Interpol Schminterpol. I mean, I don't know if anyone really takes that too seriously. As long as RH doesn't get picked up, like put in jail, like that would be bad, and then served with DOJ, whatever.
Nuclear Herbs had an interesting take. Where he was saying that because there's that other case in South Carolina, that's like a member of the public who's brought that, and as long as there's that case happening, why is the SEC doing it? Like, it's someone's publicly funding it. Why does taxpayer funds need to go to, funding the SEC's case, which is, really a pathetic attempt to slander RH and his ecosystem?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
it's a good point.
I think Nuclear Herbs is actually going to be on with RH Max tomorrow, so that'll probably be a good stream to get a good update from Nuclear Herbs and what he thinks is going to happen from here.
Yeah, good point. I was going to say, we talked about Hexologist, and there's always encourage people to watch his streams. But if you go to thepulsetube.com, there's generally a whole bunch of streams here that you can catch up on. It shows that we're live. But there's also, Nerd Girl here on Matty Allen, Big Pep. Oh, Big Pep. There you go. Pep Reloaded. So, this is a good place to just make sure that you're catching up with what's up in the PulseChain ecosystem.
What's that website again?
It's thepulsetube.com.
The Pulse Tube. Okay.
Yeah, thepulsetube.com.
It's good. It's got a good search engine. You can type in like the name of an influencer or even like a topic sometimes, and it'll pull up a ton of stuff. Like you put in Hedron, and it's going to pull up all the videos on Hedron. I really like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got that Hexologist thing that you were talking about, Fast Abdul. I just saw it in the. I don't know if there's any children in the room. Maybe mute it for this part.
Yeah.
It's all Richard. It's not me. Hang on. Just let me know if you can hear this with a thumbs up, please.
Richard, how do you feel about Vietnamese dong?
Dong? Vietnamese dong, bro. What the fuck are you even saying? Are you high or something? Because that shit don't make no goddamn sense. Look, I ain't no fucking dong expert, okay? I deal in crypto, not whatever the fuck you're on about. So how about you sober up and send me a proper donation next time, yeah? Some actual fucking cash, not this Vietnamese dong bullshit. Christ.
Seems like something Richard might actually say.
Oh, that was good.
I was in the car with my kids.
Super chat in Vietnamese dong. That's why it happened. I sent a super chat in Vietnamese dong asking if how Richard felt about Vietnamese dong.
Yeah.
Dude, we're in the car with my kids.
Richard.
It was like, bro, your streams are always so wholesome. And like the one day
we've just done it again. We've just upset another set of kids.
Kids.
Yeah, I reckon until the fun, runs out and everyone stops, sending super chats to get Robo RH up, it's not going to be kid friendly for a little while, I reckon.
Probably not.
Does anyone know the tech? Like what is,
No, he won't tell anyone.
What he's stitching together to get that to happen? Like,
I don't know what it is, but I know he was paying for it, right? Like he had to buy tokens on stream to continue it, right? So it's some sort of advanced subscription AI thing where you got to pay per use, right? So he's charging for it because it's costing him money. So
Yeah,
but
Yeah, wow.
there's entertainment value there. Like people are engaging. Like it's not terrible.
Yeah.
And I guarantee there's a free way to do that. I guarantee that there is a free way to do that.
Yeah, if you
I don't know
work out the tech behind it for sure. But yeah, it takes
you'd have to
takes
string a few things
percentage.
together.
You would.
And he can put in, I think 12. It's like 11 or 12 different points to train the AI, and that's about it. So he can't go too in depth with it either. But it does pretty damn well.
Yeah.
It depends what
technical
AI
question about Hex or something, and then it kind of like it doesn't know as much about Hex as Richard probably knows about Hex. You can tell.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to. There are some AIs that you can, put some context in the background, and I wonder if you could just load it up with the text from Sci-Vive and, Fix the World, and see.
Well, not
like
on
that
that
would
one.
be. No.
Yeah, there's only 12 lines or something. 12.
Oh, really? Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
Not too limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Morales chart?
Yeah,
the chart with Richard in the background.
This is great.
That's awesome.
I think he was talking about doing a PulseChain one too, wasn't he?
Yeah, that would be so cool. Yeah, shout out to Ivan on Tech. I love his streams. I love that he always pretends that he has to push the button to start the stream, even though it's clear that it's already started.
That's it. I've had a roller coaster of feelings with Ivan on Tech this week.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
First that little bit of FUD, and then putting that chart up with the Richard in the background. It's like, okay, maybe he was just trolling or something.
Oh,
yeah, totally. He knows
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he farms engagement. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. I think, and it's also that whole thing of like, we need. It's almost as if we need a fork of Ethereum because we just need everything that Ethereum's got, but we just need it to be faster and cheaper. What could we possibly do? And then it's like everyone just goes PulseChain, bam, they're like straight in there, just hammering him. Going, you're talking about PulseChain
there, I think, isn't there?
I think he's our friend, honestly. Like he's walking the line, which means he stays relevant with the general crypto community who are like anti Richard Hart or whatever. So I think it's the best thing for us to integrate with him as much as possible.
Yeah, no, it's good. He's got a lot of eyes on him, and he does speak favorably about Richard and a few other things. I mean, every now and then he says some negative stuff, but I tend to agree that Ethereum needs to they need to kick up the ass, and there's even a new Ethereum foundation that's just started because the other one was so terrible. And I was like commenting like, is this new version going to buy Ethereum instead of selling it? Because that's all we really care about, this foundation.
Yeah, they seem to just be the Ethereum selling foundation. That seemed to be their main purpose, was selling Ethereum.
Yeah, and there's plenty of other ways if they need money. Like they could take that Ether, put it into some protocols on Ethereum and sell the yield, if they wanted to.
Yeah, but it's in that volume, like they would dilute anything they touched. And like if you sell, like everything's bonded by liquidity. So if you yield farmed Ethereum to get some other token that you were then dumping, like, so somebody wins, but
not on a big scale, but like, because their cells, like I track the Ethereum Foundation wallets and their cells aren't that big. Sometimes they're just 10 grand here, 100 grand there. Like it's basically Bank X, like, just selling, $3,000 5 times like last night that they did. It's just, the market just absorbs it. But it just, I just feel like if Vitalik's going to be the front face of it, and then he tried with the Milady, PFP, trying to embrace the degen sort of stuff, but I felt like it came off a bit, a bit labored, a bit lame. So
he's too.
I think he needs to, he needs to just fucking do some bench press and just, I don't know, eat some fucking protein and just harden up.
Testosterone.
So, maybe that's
just
it.
Just eat something. Yeah.
The way I see it
back and hire somebody like to stand in front, because that's, you know, like he's a genius. He's smarter than all of us. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like he's not really a public speaker type, and he's not really like a guy you'd want to have a beer with. So, you know, like he's not going to draw in the general audience. It's cool that you can say you got a genius in the back room, and like I got some geniuses in the back room too, but I'm going to keep them in the back room. Because, like, you know, like devs are usually not the guys in front because that's not their skill, right?
Yeah, sure. And look, everything that Ethereum is lacking is basically what PulseChain has. So in terms of like Ethereum has, you know, high gas fees, PulseChain has low gas fees. Like Ethereum has a founder that is just, you know, eats soy. We've got Richard that just deadlifts, you know.
Freaking rock
it's
star,
like we've just got a guy with charisma and he's and Vitalik's, you know, socially, you know, inept. It's like everything that you want Vitalik to be is basically like, you know, what Richard already is. And Ethereum, you know, it's like I just say, you know, PulseChain is just it's a better Ethereum. And that just pisses people off. It's like the Hex is a better Bitcoin thing. Yeah. But I feel like it is.
I like the Ethereum was PulseChain's testnet comment.
Ooh, yeah,
that was great.
I mean, it's like
I think Richard said that, recently. And
yeah,
it was pretty funny.
There's two things he's posted recently. Have you seen the post about PETA he's done? And then just while we've been live, he's posted another thing from the Donald Trump.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll check it out. I mean, I just want to say, like, I still like Ethereum, and I still think Ethereum is awesome. And in terms of TVL and all that sort of stuff, like, you know, it's got crazy dollars on it. But it's just like, it's like bench press is good. Incline bench press is slightly better. It's like you can always go slightly better. You can always, and it's like you're going to make some mad gains from Ethereum. That's great, but how much more are you going to make from PulseChain? So it's just like, it's just that extra bit that makes the difference.
Yep.
Let me check out that tweet. I'll pull that up. But
while you're doing that, I just saw UFO in the chat. Hey man, he said about Australia Day stream. We're hoping to actually do one on Australia Day. So we'll keep everyone posted on the time. But yeah, hopefully anyone that's free we'll be able to jump on for an hour or so. I know we got things to do, but jump on and have a ball for a little bit and keep the Australian spirit alive.
100%. Yeah, that'll be fun, man. Last Aussie Day, we had a good old couple of beers and got some copyright strikes from playing some Aussie tunes. And we had the trivia as well. We should get the trivia going again.
Definitely.
Does anyone still do the top 100, or we all moved away from that these days?
Nah, yeah. Triple J just went
the hottest 100s.
Yeah.
I mean, I still put it on, but it's like it went real downhill, didn't it?
Yeah. Got a bit, you know. I won't say the keywords.
Yeah, but it's just a bit. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Mayo. It just got a bit soft.
Rainbows and shit, you know.
Nah, I mean, just soft for me. Like there used to be Aussie classics, you know. There'd be Jimmy Barnes and John Farnham and Ganga Jang. And like, but you'd put on, it'd be all. Yeah, I suppose it was a bit more alternative stuff as well. But Aussie Day was always about the great Aussie bands, and now it's like there's a whole bunch of just soft bands. I can't do it, man. Especially since I've been
too much Eastern water.
Man, I pump thrash metal and shit at the gym. Like, or whatever. I was listening to death metal the other day, pouring some concrete with a friend, and it's intense. And then you listen to some of this other stuff, and you just think, far out, no deal.
Dude, do you know what song I heard? I don't know if you guys know this. I heard a song that I hadn't heard for like, I don't know how long, maybe 30 years the other day. It was Spiderbait, Sam Gribble's Spiderbait.
I remember Spiderbait. I don't know the song. Wasn't the bassist the singer or something in Spiderbait?
It was one. The chick used to sing as well.
Yeah, Was she
Check
a
it out.
bassist?
Sam Gribble's Spider Bait.
There you go.
Old school.
I've been pumping Creator, but yeah, it's a Creator with a K. If anyone's into their metal, German thrash metal. Yeah. So what was UFO? Sorry, we got distracted there. My bet Australian government will do nothing to involve itself with crypto until we elect politicians that understand it. Yeah, that sucks. We've got like just two parties in Australia, and they're both pretty shit, I have to say.
They're both
going back to what you're talking about before I come on with, hopefully we follow suit. Have you seen the latest from Dutton and Albo in regards to all the Paris Agreement and all that bullshit? So it looks like
a little bit.
They're trying to do the opposite at this stage, is what it appears.
Yeah, even Dutton, he's trying to like do the whole, he's going to be the Australian Trump version, and then he's going to double down on the Paris climate thing.
Dude, he's nothing like. He's nothing.
Off,
nothing like.
Whatever.
Nothing.
You can't claim that you're going to be.
Can go get a room and do some gay shit together in that room. That's what they can do.
The docking, you reckon? We've got some good senators in there, but like I think I don't know there are other things, but I think there's like Senator Babette Roberts. There's a couple other ones that are all sort of speaking up a lot about what's going on. Nice. Sort of following them a bit. But the WF stuff and the crypto stuff they're bringing up, so it's starting to sway. I think we'll probably be a few years behind, but
yeah, we're certainly way behind what's going on in the US at the moment. Like what's going on in the US at the moment is so pro crypto, like the crypto president, all this sort of stuff. It's insane. What is up, Rick in 305? Ross is out. Yeah, an old BTC address woke up. I saw that. I don't know if that was legit, was from like 2013. I think it was actually.
Speaking of something waking up, did you see the post today from the McAfee Twitter account or X account?
I saw it yesterday. I think Janice. Yeah. That's crazy that so it's like, you know, McAfee's come back from the dead as AI and launched a meme coin on Solana. But I think Janice, his wife or whatever, his partner, she's launched this. So yeah, I mean, why not? Everyone else is doing it. I don't know if it's going to have legs, but yeah.
We got so many in the chat, boys.
Somebody in the chat. No way.
Yeah, hit up that last post. We got to read it. Hey, Somi.
What is going on? What is up, Somi? Great to see you, sirs. Not sure if you just saw Richard's latest post. Yeah, I was just about to pull it up. Mentions Donald Trump executive order directly freeze PulseChain community and remove persecutors, etc. Yeah, I've got that. I think just here.
Let's go.
Let's go. We should send Somi an invite as well. I always forget to do this, but let's maybe if someone can read this H one, or at least give me the too long didn't read.
We should get Robo RH to read it in his language. No, I can't read it today. I'm not in front of a computer, so someone else.
That's okay. I don't know if you guys can see this. It is maybe just people can read it in their own time. Just check out Richard Hart's Twitter. But yeah, talking about banning CBDCs, I mean, that's huge. Let me just quickly send Somi a DM.
They've already banned in Florida, Miami? Is that correct?
They've actually they signed the order today to ban CBDCs completely, so they can't exist over there. So that's massive, yeah.
Cool. I just sent Somi the link. I don't know why I've never invited Somi on before. I just figured like he's got better stuff to do, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he can come on and say hello.
That's it.
It's just
either today or for Australia Day.
He puts on so much content that he's just I just thought, he's never going to be.
It's because he's AI. Remember, everyone thinks he's AI.
Exactly.
That's right.
AI's come a long ways. John McAfee's back. Sure.
Yeah, McAfee's back from the dead.
What
And
about
so-
the Eric? Anyone look into this Eric Trump post or like or whatever it was in regards to PulseChain that's been floating around?
Yes, I did see that. So this was, I think, Shill Gates. Thanks for mentioning
Yeah.
that, Mayo. That was crazy. So I think Shill Gates had talked about, Donald Trump Jr. When things die down a bit, you think you could get your dad to look into the Richard Hart SEC case. Richard would make an excellent member of the Crypto Council too. Thanks, bro. Love your work. And then he liked it. So crazy.
We've got a
Crazy
few
things
things this week.
Doesn't
Talking
like
about,
every single thing that comes his way either, right? Like you even
Yeah, he's-
read like everything that comes his way is weird. It's legit.
Yeah. So
they've got to know something. I mean, they're using the same lawyer team, is that right, as well? So
I've heard that.
there's got to be some kind of chitter chatter behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah, man. And look, I really think that they're just accumulating. So I saw that BlackRock had just bought, I think, $600 million worth of Bitcoin. They had bought 600 million Bitcoin. Their largest buy so far this year. So I thought that was like pretty crazy. $600 million, just a casual 600 million. And then you see, I think the World Liberty Finance, they also had bought, it was like $47 million worth of BTC and likewise of ETH. So yeah, definitely a few people accumulating in the background.
I think Crypto Coffee actually did a little video, which was a fun little video of calculating the money that, what's it called? The company you just mentioned that's Trump's, the World Finance.
World Liberty Finance. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the ones that just spent all that money. It did a bit of a calculation if they were to happen to use that and bridge it over to PulseChain and see what it would do to the prices.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we were looking at it last week because you can look at it on that the Arkham platform, and in fact, we gave some pretty good tips last week because I was sort of saying that they had some Link and some Aave also in there, and then they bought like another. So they've got, I think, 6.69 million of Aave now, and likewise of Link. But the ETH, $188 million worth of Ether. So you can see what they're bullish on just by by their bags. They've got $57 million worth of BTC, and then another 50 million of stables and 10 million of Tron. So, but their biggest bag is Ethereum, is Ether. So yeah, that's going to be crazy if they release their token, that the WLF or whatever it is on Ethereum. And maybe even, you've got Barron Trump might release a meme coin. People assume that he's going to do that on Solana, but maybe he'll do it on Ethereum, or maybe they'll just keep like the speculative like meme coin stuff on Solana, and then they'll do the serious finance stuff on Ethereum.
Could be. Supposedly they're doing a fork of Aave, right? That was the chatter.
Yes, I think you're right. I think that's what
they do with that.
The future of finance. Yeah, it's like they're forking Aave. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Which has been forked like 17 times. So. I can actually get the number. See how many times Aave has been forked.
Yeah. I mean, they signed an executive order. So Trump's been signing executive orders, flat out for the last 48 hours. But they were stockpiling. So this is separate from that World Liberty Finance thing. This is the US government stockpiling digital assets. So they're talking about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. I wonder if they're not going to also start stockpiling Ether as well as part of the national reserve. Just saying.
Yep.
If they do, then the US government starts buying Ether. We might see that would work. That would work. It would work well for PulseChain.
And to go with that, they'll have their 69th fork of Aave to really pump the market.
Lucky number 69.
Lucky number 69, yeah.
There you go. The other 68 weren't the future of finance, but this one is.
Indeed. There are some good ones. There's a lot of money in them. The Fiat protocol on the PulseChain is number 13 for TVL.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And if you look at the liquidity forks on the PulseChain, like Liquid Loans, Earn, and Flex, they're all top 10, top 6 actually. For TVO. For TVO.
TVO was crazy. With Liquid Loans and stuff. I feel like that's going to be huge later on in the bull as well, when people start to use their vaults as like stop losses. So they're forcing the liquidations to basically to cash out.
Stop loss, cash out, leverage. Like if you want to make more, you can leverage your bag using that. Like it is a multifaceted tool, to be sure.
Yeah, and it is it's hard to time the top, like, you know, so if you're thinking that it's the top and then you get a loan out against your bag instead of selling it, and then it keeps on going and does another 2x, it's like, well, happy days.
Then your loan's pretty much free, basically, right? Like, you know, you can take out again what you took out the first time with no, you know, and maintain the same collateral ratio. Not that people should do that, not financial advice, like that. You gotta understand this stuff.
Yeah, and particularly when it's going down, like in a bear market, it would just be the easiest way, like the fastest way to wreck your entire bag, like just to get completely liquidated. But if you were going to exit anyway,
liquidated on GMX or some sort of like leverage 30x leverage thing where you literally lose all your money, right? Like you take out a stable coin and you have that in your hot little hand or hot little wallet, and you always get to keep that. Nobody takes it back from you, right? So
yes, you get the stable coin. Yeah.
So there's some, you know, safety margin compared to what most people talk about when they say leverage.
Yes, good point. Yeah, very true. I just want to quickly show this video because it talked to a lot of stuff about what we were just saying. Maybe just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
The president says is the man. David, thank you for joining us. First of all, second of all, is this promises made, promises kept? Because Donald Trump said on July 27th that he would stop federal agencies from targeting the crypto industry. He made good on that promise today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, President Trump campaigned to be the first crypto president. He gave a now famous speech in Nashville where he described how he was going to change the regulatory environment for crypto. And he has now acted on that promise. He signed this executive order today. He's directed our working group to produce a regulatory framework that's going to encourage innovation in crypto in the United States, keeping the industry onshore rather than driving it offshore, which is what was happening under the Biden administration.
I want to get to that framework in just a second. First, the executive order halts what President Trump calls aggressive enforcement actions and overreach. What is he talking about there?
Yeah, well, Edward, for the last 4 years, the Biden administration has basically prosecuted and persecuted crypto companies, really driving them offshore. I've heard so many outrageous stories by founders, by entrepreneurs. The Biden administration would not tell them what the rules of the road were, and they would then get prosecuted. And what the industry wants more than anything else is regulatory clarity. They're saying, just tell us what the rules are, we will abide by them. And the Biden administration would never do that. And because of that, all the innovation was basically moving offshore, and America was about to lose this technology of the future. And we want that innovation happening here in the United States. And I think it now will happen in the United States because President Trump has declared that the U.S. must be the crypto capital of the world.
So it creates this working group that you will chair. What will you be looking for, and what type of guidelines are you looking to put out?
Yeah, so a few areas. So number one, market structure. We need to define what is a security, what's a commodity, what's a digital asset or collectible. So there's a few different categories here. So defining the market structure is important. Second area is stable coins. I think stable coins are a really interesting area. It gives us the opportunity to extend the dollar's dominance internationally. We can basically create a digital dollar that people all over the world will use. And then the third area that we're going to look at is we're evaluating this national stockpile for digital assets. We haven't created it yet, but we're going to study that issue.
So looking at the stockpile, haven't made the decision to go forward. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yeah, we're going to evaluate that. We have not decided to do it yet. But we need to study that.
Is crypto an asset or a currency then?
Well, when you're talking about digital assets, it can be multiple things. I mean, you've got digital assets that are securities, you've got digital assets that are commodities, you've got digital assets that are collectibles like NFTs or meme coins. So, you're talking about a whole vast area of innovation. And so digital assets can be a number of different things. And that's why you need a clear regulatory framework that says, which areas are which, what are the definitions? And that's what founders need. Founders just need clarity around those definitions. They need to know what the rules of the road are so that they can abide by those rules and be confident that if they succeed in the United States, they're not going to get arbitrarily prosecuted.
So how far is the U.S. behind, do you believe, the rest of the world, and how fast will this help catch up?
We're going to catch up really fast. I mean, the innovation was starting to move offshore. There are places like Singapore, even places in Europe that were ahead of us. But now I think it's going to change very fast. Really, if you look at Silicon Valley and the technology industry in general, the U.S. leads in virtually every category, and crypto is one of the few exceptions. And I think that's going to be very, very quickly rectified because of President Trump's executive order today.
I want to get your take on the Trump coin, which started right before he took office. Are you concerned about a conflict of interest there?
I don't think so. I think the Trump coin is a collectible. Like I mentioned, there's different categories of digital assets. That's a collectible. It's like a baseball card or a stamp. People buy it because they want to commemorate something. So this is just my personal opinion. I'm not a regulator, but my personal opinion is that it's totally fine.
So this executive order bans agencies from developing a central bank digital currency. Why is that?
Well, CBDCs are a real threat to freedom and liberty. What you're talking about there is moving to a central bank digital currency that would be run out of Washington by the Fed and would basically gradually replace cash and catalog everybody's transactions. And it could lead to new laws and dictates about how people spend their money. So I think people are very concerned that could be an Orwellian path to go down. No one wants to go down that path. And I think we can create stable coins, basically digital dollars, without doing that. So the executive order is really clear. We want to create a regulatory framework for stable coins, but we don't want to go down the path of CBDCs.
But a digital currency for a government could be competition to Bitcoin. Did that play into that decision?
Well, I mean, any government can create a stable coin. So, but I think the U.S. Dollar is already the world's reserve currency. So I'm not really worried about competition there. I just want to extend, or I believe that what we should be doing is extending the dollar's dominance into digital areas, extend it online. And I think that could actually create trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. treasuries. It could be really useful to us in basically supporting our debt and also bringing down long-term interest rates.
David, in the last 30 seconds we have, you are also the AI, the artificial intelligence czar.
So that's interesting, Eddie, what he said there at the end about maybe there could be something about bringing down the debt. So if they're, because the Fed just prints dollars already, and I guess the US government just buys it with, they issue bonds. But so effectively it's the same as them just printing. But if they can actually print like a digital currency, that's, to be clear, not a CBDC, but just a stable coin, are they going to be able to use that to pay off national debt?
I think the devil's going to be in the detail on that, mate, because
like what's the gold reserve?
When they say it's not a CBDC, but it's government issued stable coin, and I'm assuming they're going to have the ability to turn it off, like USDC can be turned off, and like Tether can be turned off. So the question, the devil's going to be in the detail with that. I mean, it seems all positive, but I would always be like super pragmatic about just saying, yeah, man, all our problems are solved. Like, come on.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I just think it's funny that they're like, that they're talking about this. It's not a CBDC, everyone. And then they're like, but we might just print a whole bunch of it and then pay off all our debt with it. It's like, okay, you guys are really just doing this whole fugazi money bullshit where you just...
What they just don't understand is quite possible too, right? Like, you might not actually know how decentralized stablecoins work, or they'd understand they'd have to collateralize it, and you don't actually save money. You can't just print it out of thin air.
Yeah. I mean, normally it has to be backed by something. That's the thing. So,
so need to back it with Bitcoin, right?
Well, yeah. So that's the thing is, so if you had $1 worth of Bitcoin, like with liquidity loans or whatever, you can redeem USDL for $1 worth of Pulse.
That's right.
I think that's right. So it might be like you could redeem it for $1 worth of Bitcoin or something like that.
Yeah, and it needs to be backed by more than $1 worth of Bitcoin per dollar that is issued. You need over collateralized stable coins is the is what is required, because if there's a 10% dip in Bitcoin and all of a sudden you only have 90 cents in backing per dollar, then you start to have a problem, right? You get a bank run, basically, like the same as you would with fiat currency.
They would lose all their reserves of Bitcoin if they made the wrong moves.
Potentially, it's possible.
Well, yeah, but as long as you can always get $1 worth of Bitcoin out of it, and then it is theoretically backed.
Yeah.
And then it's just about how big their reserve is, and then as long as they can handle like an 85% dip in the price of Bitcoin, because that's like always on the cards, like every 4 years.
Which they totally can, right? Like liquidity on Ethereum, like the original protocol, like it's gone through multiple dips where Ethereum went to its highs and its lows, and it's still here. So it's it's pretty solid protocol.
Yeah, it's
what do you guys
hilarious.
think about? What do you guys think about this 4-year cycle thing? I mean,
I think
it's been 4 years. It's been 4-year cycles, and the difference. And I know, like, there's always it's always problematic in crypto saying this time it's different. But let's look at what is different this time, right? What is actually different this time? Well, you've got the BlackRocks of the world getting in, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is the beginning, like this year, which is supposed to be, where the cycle happens, where the FOMO and all that stuff happens traditionally, is the beginning of the Trump administration, which is going to go for 4 years. So the question is, this is always dangerous saying this, but could we be like on the precipice of some huge like hyper cycle here, where it just goes, and it just really goes, and it might be the last big thing, the last big one.
I'd be interested to hear what you guys think, and then I'll tell you what I think. But what do you reckon, Mayo?
I don't know. Let me think for a minute.
All right. So Fast Abdul, what do you? I mean, not to put you on the spot, but what do you think about that?
No problem. I've had this question before. I think this time it's different. That's like a famous last words thing. Like they'll put that on your tombstone. This time is probably not different.
Yeah. So my thoughts on that is I've heard that before. It definitely in 2017 and 2021, and it's just they come up with a different reason why it's different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in 2017, they said that institutional investment, you're going to have these institutions coming in, but there were, whatever the narratives were, they were wrong. And then I think in 2021, it was like ETFs and this and that. It's all going to be bullet in the future, and nation states, and now we've got the ETF thing. And look, I encourage it. I really want everyone to think that this is different. It's going to be rainbows and unicorns all the way into 2026. Like,
can we delve a bit
2027
deeper though? Can we delve a bit deeper? Like, what is it specifically that is going to ensure we remain in a 4-year cycle? Like, what is it? Because that's the assumption. That's the assumption we're making here, right? That it just automatically will always be a 4-year cycle, right?
Yeah. So there's two things. One is the halving, and the other is the global liquidity cycle, and they both are 4 years. And so
they're good points. Would you accept that the halving is having less and less of an effect because it's actually less and less of a percentage? Like the inflation is it's half each time, so it's less.
I think it's more to do with the global
liquidity.
I think it's more to do with global liquidity cycle than it is the halving. It's just one of those things that, like, it's also an Olympics year, so it's like correlation is not causation. So it's hard to know exactly.
It's
the
also an election
why.
year in the US.
Yeah.
But the election, exactly. So it's more that you get these election years, and then so the global liquidity is based around people just flooding the market with liquidity because of the US elections. That's my understanding of it. And so I don't think that that's going to change unless they change how often they elect the US president. I can't see that being a huge. And of course, you're going to get differences. It's not going to be like exactly the same every single time. But I think people who, and when I say I encourage people to say that this time is going to be different, and that nation states adopting ETFs, it won't retrace 85%. It's only going to retrace a smaller amount, diminishing retraces, just like diminishing returns. You might see diminishing retraces, and I think that's fair. And I think that I really encourage people to think along those lines, because it means that I can sell before them.
Yep.
True.
Because that's literally what it is. It's like if everyone, so I'll just break this down like really quickly. If you think about like supply and demand, and reason why price goes up and price goes down, more people buying than selling. The reason why people are buying is because they perceive that in the future the price is going to be worth more. And the reason why they sell is because they think that the price is going to be lower in the future. So the more people that think that the price is going to be higher in the future for reason X, Y, Z, that's what's going to drive the price up. But there will be a point where, if you look at the price cycle top indicators, if you look at the 200-week moving averages, like there's a lot of things that historically are the death knell for a cycle. And when you start to see those things happen, and you're feeling smug and euphoric and all this sort of stuff about how it's different, then you should be just taking profits, because you might regret it later if you don't.
Absolutely. I'm not saying for a second that this time it's different. I'm asking the question because of these things that I'm seeing, which are actually different. They are actually different. But
sure.
Yeah, it is very risky to think along those lines. Yeah.
They definitely are different, in some regard, but I think the result might be similar. So there's a couple of things. I mean, I can show you that price cycle top indicator. I think it's always worth just touching base with it. But the other one was this Benjamin Cowan was talking about this 200-week SMA. So the cycle top is in when or just before the 200-week SMA crosses the previous all-time high. So I guess the previous all-time high was 69K. Once the 200-week moving average breaches the previous all-time high, that's like a bit of a, historically, it's been a bit of a top. And then you've got this price cycle top indicator, which is taking forever to load, but it's basically where these two intersect. I'll pull it up later, but yeah, it's pretty close to being the top nearly every time. So I would be careful of those two metrics. But I guess one thing is I have to, like, obviously put in a caveat, apart from the fact that I have no idea and I could be completely wrong. And so, make your own decisions with your own money. But if BTC tops, sometimes, Ethereum, I think it would top 27 days later. And then if we're sort of kind of hoping for the OA SAC wallets to start rotating the Ethereum bags into PulseChain, you might see like a staggered top where you see like a BTC top, an Ethereum top, an altcoin top, PulseChain top. So it's not to say that they all happen simultaneously.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think for first Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then PulseChain would be the logical order.
Yeah, and that's like what we're waiting for. So, but yeah, you just be wary of the round trip. That's a fair point. Gina Minehearts, g'day. You should come on, bro, if you can. come and say hello. Sorry if I missed people's comments. What's that?
Bro's name is Gina.
Gina, yeah.
Yeah.
Gina Weinhardt. So
I recognize the character. It's a good profile.
Yeah, she's the richest woman in Australia.
Yeah, incredible.
But yeah, I think he used to do a bunch of mining, like mining rigs and things like that. That's where it sort of came from. So sorry if I missed some comments here. Altcoin talk. Fast will support PDI and Teddy Bear. Oh yeah, and so Mayo, sorry, I missed your comment before as well. You were saying, yeah, RH had been talking about PDI and Rat and the People's Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone is referring to. He posted yesterday, I think.
Yeah, so
a bit of a I don't know, what would you call it? A bit of a dangling carrot to try and make people realize they've got their PRC20 copies, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's exactly
the price
what it
went
is.
up, right? So he told them like, hey, you can come dump this, and then the price went up. So
and it went up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like PDI did a
crazy?
pump today. It's at 0.01856, up from a recent 0.014. So it was, quite the pump when RH did it. The same with the day before he did it with PWBTC, and like 25% pump from like a couple tweets. And it's still, PWBTC is still like high. Like it went from like recently $700 to last time I looked, it was like $1,600. So is it?
Bro, last week we were talking about it. We were talking about PRAT BTC last week with Jexa and True Blue, and I was saying how it's one of my favorites. And of the PRC20 copies, obviously Hex is my favorite, but yeah, I was like, the People's Bitcoin, let's go. And I was also sort of commenting that we have talked about PDI a little bit, even in the lows, because I wanted to make sure people were sort of not just shilling it at the highs. And then so then it's come out and it's been going really well. So people who are listening to this channel would have got a bit of alpha there. Just quickly, this was that past cycle top indicator thing with the what is it? The 350-day moving average times 2, and the 111-day moving average when they intersect. So that's just something to keep an eye on. So they haven't intersected yet. So people calling the tops, I just tend to brush that stuff off and just kind of say, well, higher. That's what I say to that. But yeah, and there was a few other things I think you mentioned, or you sent me this link, Mayo. This was a real interesting one. They were saying that, so this was that grand increase.
The Grok AI.
Yeah, that the Grok AI had a link to PulseChain. This 2F academictorrents.com or whatever had linked to PulseChain. I heard a bit of FUD on that to say that the 2F may have actually been part of this link here, and it was actually meant to be academictorrents.com for whatever reason. And then the 2F, someone bought the domain and then redirected it to PulseChain.
Strategic move there. But
yeah,
it's good now, because if you actually go and ask Grok, did it link to PulseChain, it will admit that it did.
It says that it did. That's so funny. It says that
correlates it, and it says it relates to freedom of speech and all that jazz.
You know what's interesting? What's interesting about that is that regardless of its veracity, it means people are trying to promote PulseChain, which, it just demonstrates what this community does. So if you're listening and, you're not sure what's going on with this community is self-managed. You go out and you do the work yourself. You go out and promote. That's why we're all here. None of us get any money. None of us are paid. We join these streams and talk about this stuff because we want other people to know about it. We're enthusiastic about it, and we want other people to know about it. So you should do that too. If you're, if you want to participate, just do it. You don't have to ask anyone's permission.
Yeah, this is the computer game thing. You can spend your time, playing computer games, that's fine. But if you play the game of shilling on X and YouTube and things like that, you can actually actively affect your bags. So this is why I think people should spend more time, shilling this sort of stuff. And so this Khalid on crypto, thanks for this link, Mayo. So he just replied to Ivan on Tech, who had the layup basically saying that we should fork Ethereum and make it fast. AF achieved the original version of Vitalik, cheap and fast. So it's like, yeah, bro, there's already that. We've got it. It's called PulseChain. Cycle 1 blockchain, strongest community, 100% uptime, 700 times cheaper than Ethereum, 17% quicker block speeds, a blockchain that stands for your freedom on speech, your right to privacy, and even Donald Trump Jr. follows Richard Hart. And then you've got the whole, we've got the system state fork. People have got their free coins. If you had DAI, you've probably got PDAI. If you had wrapped Bitcoin at the time of the fork, each one of those is now worth over $1,500. And then, it's just in its infancy. So it's like buying, Ethereum or Bitcoin in its infancy. And there's just there's a lot of potential there. So that was a great post. I agree with what you're saying there, Mayo. And good on Khalid on crypto for doing that. So
yeah, it's good. The little image there too that shows like the sort of the S curve, which Richard Hart's always brought up in the past, which also goes into what we're talking about of adoption and price and things like that. That's basically showing you that it's still ramping up.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is another one from Ben Sierra. 2 unicorns of 2021 were Solana and Hex. And so Brett, the dev as well. So so shout out to Somi saying that Solana is priced for perfection expectations. Now it's expensive, whereas Hex is underpriced. It's oversold. So it's like, which one do you want to buy? Like the one that's everyone knows about and has been buying and it's gone up heaps, and it's overbought, or the one that is under, oversold. So it depends, I guess. You can have a bit of both, depending on your risk profile, but it is certainly something to consider. And it was interesting to see that Brett, the one of the PulseChain devs, was talking about how the volume, I think, on Solana is a little bit fake, because it not only includes all the transactions like swaps, but it includes all the votes. So do you know what about
big thing? Because if you go through that post, sorry, I cut you off. There's a couple of guys commenting on that saying, how can you compare Hex to Sol, et cetera, and I think it's people just don't know, or they're not educated. So I've gone through a few comments there, and I've shared that comment that Brett made in a little, I don't know, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, like there's some things you can see there, and these people just don't know any better. So it's just what they've seen or what they've heard about Hex is all negative.
Yeah.
If there's
see, this is shout out to old mate Ross Green. He's in there in the trenches, telling people, you got to go against the crowds, all this sort of stuff. And then check out the tech as well. But
hey guys, I've got a bit of breaking news.
What's that, man?
In relation to DeFi, the ThorChain community has paused lending and savers withdrawals due to excessive risk. I did
see that. Yeah.
Remains and collateral positions are frozen, and the community must find a resolution. The experimental lending and savers features, which were not core to the protocol, have failed due to their high-risk redesign. Sorry,
Eric Voorhees. Say it ain't so, bro. Because he was on this high horse.
Yeah. The ThorChain DEX and blockchain remain operational, with swaps and LP deposits withdrawals unaffected. So the core of what ThorChain is still working. This situation highlights the importance of mitigating risks in untested experiments and assuming potential failure, a lesson for the DeFi ecosystem, a lesson that PulseChainers have not had to endure yet, luckily.
Yeah,
part of your chain is like they're like it's a chain, a decentralized chain, sure, but I took a look at it once and it seemed like the chain and the DEX and the lending protocol were all the same thing. It's on the same webpage, right? So like that's I think that's why they talk about like but it's like it seems like it's kind of like one entity, right? So you know, like it's all very connected. It's not like there's like you want to borrow like $400 on PulseChain, you have like 9 options, right? Like it's not one thing that could explode.
But I think anyone could. The swap side of it, anyone, let's say if someone who had big enough PulseChain bags wanted to go and create like wanted to include PulseChain as a swap, a token that can be swapped on ThorChain, swapped with anything else like BTC, Ethereum, whatever, you could go do that. Like that, you don't need to ask anyone's permission to do that. It's just about having enough. I think you'd have to have enough of their token, like I think it's Rune or something, to collateralize the whatever you're swapping. So that the reason for that is so that the people swapping aren't at risk.
Okay.
So that side of it is above board, but the lending side of what they're doing, that is where they're having trouble. So interesting, man. Interesting. Eric Voorhees, as you said, he seems still very positive about it.
I still like him. I still like Eric. I like his approach to crypto and freedoms and permissionless, the nature of what the tenets of crypto should be. It's just that he did give HEXican a hard time. So
he did.
Yeah,
he did. He always talks about a book that I want to read, which he speaks highly of, but it seems like it's a very long book and it's on my list, but it's way down the list. Have you guys heard of Atlas? Is it Atlas Shrugged or what is it?
Yeah, that's what
Atlas
it's called.
Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged. Have you read that? Fast Abdul?
No.
Anyone read that?
I listened to an audiobook once, but it was like 20 years ago or something.
It rings a bell, but I haven't read it. No.
Yeah, I haven't read it. I've heard it sounds familiar, but yeah.
It's on my list, but there's just so many things on that list, man.
There's a movie too, I think, if I'm thinking of the right one. Yeah. There's a movie that I also saw like a long time ago. With 2 parts, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Ayn Rand? Is that the author?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Right, it's added to my list.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Always good for have book suggestions and things like that.
Yeah, it's a cool dystopian future thing. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was just scrolling through Brett's Twitter because I was trying to find that thing where he was talking about Solana counting the votes as volume and why they've got fake volume. I couldn't find that post. But how's this? He said, oh, thanks, Mayo. How's this? He's got a nice looking assets you got there. And he's retweeted someone talking about PTGC, Teddy Bear, and a Troper, and then PDI and Wrapped BTC. So now we're starting to see Brett shill some PRC20s and the PTGC. So that's crazy. That's wicked.
It's got the volume, right? So I think that's good. I just made a pool for a farm, or it could be a farm for a PTGC today, because it's like, there's volume there. It's like
it is pretty good, man.
To have that volume, it's burning PulseX all the time. It's definitely not a bad thing. I'm not going to comment on the coin or what I think it's going to do, but like I can comment on what I've seen it done, and it's done on it's burned a lot of PulseX. It's done a lot of transactions. It has a huge liquidity web.
Yeah, it seems like a Troper's got that liquidity meshing sort of idea, and people have kind of copied that idea a little bit. But I know the Grace currency's got their own mechanics, the tax on it, and there's other burning mechanisms with the UFO coin and some other stuff. I don't know a lot about it, but I have sort of been. I did buy it back when I sort of saw that it was outperforming PLS like so much. But I just realized I hadn't actually shown any of the charts, but we're actually killing it. So Pulse is up 6% for the day. Ethereum's up 5%. So that's always good. It's probably the reason why we're going up. Hex is up 8%. Let's go. PLSX 5.45% up. And even Inc is up 6%. And EHEX 5.6. So it's just, yeah, really good day. Green day for PulseChain and the RH ecosystem. And like, yeah, let's just quickly have a look at some of these ones as well. We can do some charting later or whatever, but I just want to quickly look at this. So yeah, you're right. The People's Bitcoin is up at $1,600 and it's looking pretty juicy. And what was the other one that we were just talking about was, I can't see it here, but PTGC. Yeah, it's up 16% for the day. So I just wanted to show this chart only because I think that their community has not been selling it down, and it's like it had a few chances and it just kept going. And if you price it in terms of Pulse, it's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy chart. So you got to give you got to give credit where credit's due, right? Like price it in Pulse and say, well, if you had bought it whatever here at this support line, it's up nearly like 2,000%. God damn, against Pulse in Pulse terms. So yeah, not all charts are winners, but that one you got to give some cred.
Hey, what about the has anyone brought up the PulseChain dashboard? The new.
Right.
Good point. Good point. Yes, RH said that it had appeared, and that there was this was it Lunar Shard? But so this was a decentralized, censorship resistant, self-hosted open source portfolio. And then that basically went through and showed you that you could get it from the GitHub, and it could show all of your liquidity positions in case, I guess, some of these other front ends ever went down. You would always have access to your liquidity positions through this dashboard.
Very decentralized.
If I understand it correctly, that just really links to the other front ends that that you can download individually. Is that am I thinking is that right? It's like the four front ends that
I haven't downloaded it. I know it does link to the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's almost like it integrates them all into one place, I think.
Yeah. Which is fantastic. That's amazing, right?
Yeah,
that's amazing cool. For the average user to have everything in one spot rather than having to go and download 4 separate things and install them.
Yep.
It's just usability. It's a step in the right direction. Yeah.
It's security. You're right. Because if anything was ever shut down, like the PulseChain bridge, like the website, like maybe somebody could shut something down. But like if you can run it on your computer, which you 100% can, and it's on the blockchain, then you can use it. Right. So you'd always be able to bridge in. You'd always be able to bridge out. And the same with PulseX. You could always access your liquidity. You could always swap if you had your own front end in your pocket, which you totally could now.
Yeah.
So that's much crazy. More DeFi than having to rely on someone else hosting a website. Like we're so used to that in this day and age. And I never liked the SaaS approach to things like software as a service, where you have to pay a subscription and then just you get to use it for free. I always liked, like, for example, in bookkeeping, in my business, we used to have like MYOB, the software, on our system, which we bought and then just used it for as long. We didn't have to pay an ongoing support thing. And then when like SaaS came along, they got rid of that, and then you just had to pay every year. So just being able to have software on your computer and not having to rely on a third party hosting a website, making sure that domain doesn't get shut down.
Yeah,
it's an advantage over so many other ecosystems.
Yeah, for sure. Are we like tongue-in-cheek, maybe wink suggesting that maybe this Lunar Shard immutable file sharing platform was somehow related to the PulseChain devs and RH? Like, because it's like the way that they said it's just that it appeared and that it's like look what's here.
Which he doesn't do very often.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually done by those dev teams. So, I mean, I'm sort of holding off a little bit to make sure that it is what it says it is, and everyone's happy with the code and that it's all the rest of it. But it does imply to me that this has actually been done by their team. I would suspect, if you read between the lines. And it's what's also interesting then is that some of these, it makes me wonder who had to approve some of these images, right? Because this is a very well thought out thread, and they've sort of said, here are the different apps. So say for example, if you wanted to pair, presumably this is SHIB with PSHIB, and PDAI with DAI, but P Bitcoin with E Bitcoin. Like this is basically the original intent of the vampire attack on Ethereum with PulseChain, that you would actually bridge in your ERC20s, pair them with PRC20s, give value to your PRC20s, and then earn incentive token or earn fees. So it just seems like this is kind of like the intent of what they always wanted to do. But yeah, awesome that the GitLab is there and people can check that stuff out in their own time.
Yeah, as time goes on, there's more and more dApps and things coming out. It's only getting easier, I guess, which is how we get more people in. Less clicks, things are easier.
I wonder sometimes if it's not, like, obviously this stuff is good, decentralization is good, but like it's not what most people are looking for right now. And that brings us back to the argument of centralized exchanges having PulseChain tokens on centralized exchanges, like the things that the masses want, the things that the new people are actually using. I still don't mind that idea, even though I know it goes against the ethos of PulseChain and decentralized crypto. I think it would work.
Okay, interesting. Just a quick shout out to the chat here. I noticed we've got 93 viewers here, so 32 on YouTube and 58 on X. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. What is up, Nick Eddy? Oh, Dom Street Buddha, my fan, next fight 15th of March. Japanese judo champion, 6-0 pro MMA record. Will be rocking the Go Post logo and link. Yeah, so that's awesome. Dom, my fan. Yeah.
Is there any way we can get can we get more info about this?
Yeah. So in the past, Nick has sent me links and things like that, so I can certainly have a look. I've seen a few of his previous
and keen to look into it a bit more.
Yeah. How's Jake going, by the way, Mayo?
Yeah, good, man. He's good. I haven't caught up with him. He's been in Thailand since before Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, so whatever he's doing over there, he's doing his thing. He's beat some Colombian, I think he was Colombian champion over in Thailand or something. He was the stadium champ recently. So yeah, whatever he's doing, he's just doing his thing. I'll try set up
Jake
catch up with him soon. Yeah.
he's such a weapon. Like he's just a serious Muay Thai fighter. And I mean, if he transitions to MMA as well, that would be deadly.
It's begun. He has started BJJ, and he's if you follow him, he's posting some videos. He's training with some pretty good guys internationally over there. So it'll be good to see where that ends up.
Yeah, because I mean, if he could get a UFC contract or something, that would be amazing. So,
well, we actually did get offered a one championship contract, and we said no to it. So,
oh really?
Yeah, see what comes next.
One. Whoa. Yep. Okay. I mean, yeah, you got to preserve his like longevity and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
A lot of like professional fighters these days are not sparring as heavy as they did back in the day. It's all right for me to get bloody kneed in the face because I'm not a professional, but you know, some of these guys, you got to protect your I guess you got to protect your brain a little bit and then your body, so that when you do go into the UFC, you can try and get that 10-0 whatever record and get the belt, like be a contender, rather than just just trash your body. But yeah, I guess he has to. I mean, he's a champion Muay Thai, like world champion, everything. That's also a bit of a steep like learning curve to get into the full MMA as well.
Yeah. It's definitely a positive though. It's there'll be something come of it. So I'll keep you updated when I get.
Yeah, please do, man.
Yeah,
that would be sick. So the place to watch Don Marfan is normally the Eternal. There's like Eternal MMA.
I've got a few other mates in Eternal MMA too, so it'd be good to try and check that out.
You can normally see it on the UFC Fight Pass. You can watch it there, or sometimes you have to pay for it through the Eternal site. You can just buy tickets and just stream it. I'm not sure when. It sounds like this one is March 15th, so still like a month or so, 6 weeks away. But yeah, he's really good. Yeah, Street Buddha, like his last fight, he just towed this guy up and then just, basically just got his back and just choked him out. But it was just he's a smart fighter. Fast Abdul. So this is Aaron Cardiacs. Fast Abdul, are you bullish on PDI? Do you support it?
Yeah, I am bullish on PDI, and I do support it. I'm not saying that it's going to go to $1, and I generally don't think if it does go to $1 that it's going to be an overnight thing, right? I don't think we're going to wake up and PDI is going to be $1, but I'm building a protocol on top of it that will use PDI as a collateral to make a stable coin. So I think that will help. It's going to give people a place to
awesome.
To do something with their PDI apart from sell it, which I think is one of the big deficits right now. I feel personally it's a process. Not everybody has to agree with me on that. I think if it's in the code that it could be collateralized on PulseChain, and if there was enough funds put in that it could be collateralized at $1, that it could go to $1. But the numbers are like, if you do the math, it's like huge numbers. So I feel like it's not this week or this month that it would hit $1. It's going to be a process, and it might need some help along the way. So I'm here for the tech.
Awesome. There's a comment there I missed from Atropa. Sounds like they're saying that you got to be careful of impermanent loss. There's no volume compared to PLSX, or missing out on LP gains. It depends, because it depends on what you're LPing, right? Like, so if you're looking at like ICOSA, for example, all the liquidity for ICOSA and Hedron is on Fux,
as well as the Maximus DAO tokens. Quite a few tokens actually have liquidity there. You don't see the liquidity on Dex Screener. You have to look on Gecko Terminal. So you have traditionally the second or third largest DEX on PulseChain, depending on the day, is the Fux exchange, and Gecko Terminal will give you the actual liquidity.
That's a really good point. Yeah, Dex Screener just doesn't show the Fux.
So yeah, it looks terrible on
it looks like there's like no liquidity for PI COSA.
Yeah,
but there is. It's just all on Fux.
$400,000 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a lot better than it was as well. Mayo says, "Smash them likes, kids." Yeah, fair point. And subscribe if you are a new person. Don Swan is not new. He's been around. Hi from Melbourne. Just read Trump's the digital assets executive order, looking good. Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is bullish. I think the idea that I said before about supply and demand, and I mean, it's interesting with crypto because it is slightly different in the sense that you can burn circulating supply and it won't affect the price. Whereas if you actually taking supply out of the liquidity pool, then it will affect the price. It's only the buys and sells in the liquidity pools that affect the price. So burning circulating supply, yes, it's becoming more scarce in theory, but it's not actually affecting the price. So from that point of view, from the supply, but from the demand point of view, people are repricing assets based on an event in the future that they feel will get more people to buy. So these repricing events, that's all the, when there's more buyers than sells, it's just because someone perceives that, once the SEC trace gets dismissed, then more people will buy. So therefore, they're trying to price that in. But then if there's certainty in the market, but if there's uncertainty, then you don't know. You have to wait for the event to eventuate. Then you can get a repricing. So yeah, it is interesting. I think a lot of these things are bullish, but I think still the strategic reserve, once that's actually happening, people will see it and believe it, and then you'll see a repricing, and maybe we'll get 130k BTC, because there's a fib I think at 140k that might get rejected off that. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Oh, Jexa, what's up, man? Oh, there's a review as well if you're lazy. Okay, so this is I'm just a bit far back with the chat. Apologies there, but what is up, Red Squirrel / Fast Abdul, Slow Abdul, Regular Abdul?
You can prove nothing.
That's right. 43 is correct in his understanding. I'm not sure what that's about, but that sounds right. 43 is normally pretty correct.
I'll take it. I'll take that one.
Yeah,
yes.
Just claim it.
I'm correcting. Just in general, I'm correct in my understanding. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Now I just need to get my wife to read that.
That's right. Just say, look, it's right here. Where is it? You have to immortalize it. Put it on the blockchain. It's already gone. Oh, here it is. There you go. Next time you're in trouble with the wife, say, look, Nick Eddy says here that I'm correct in my understanding. Context matters, I guess. What is up, Clintrons? Happy Aussie Day weekend. Yeah. Hopefully we can do an Aussie Day stream. That would be cool. Bulltard, what is up? 29th of Jan. Oh, dismissal. Okay. Oh, we've got a date. There you go. Everyone, if it's not the 29th, you can blame Bulltard. Actually, no, he might be talking about Chinese New Year, because I know Chinese New Year is the 29th, isn't it? Yeah, next Wednesday. Not sure. Okay, again, I've missed that there. So yes, Eternal MMA, cool. I was on the right one, and on Fight Pass, awesome. So I was right there. Karate Combat, yeah. I don't know. Some of those fights are good on Karate Combat, and then some of them are terrible.
I haven't seen it.
It's a bit hit and miss. Like the influencer ones, I'm not sure that they should be fighting. Like I had high hopes.
They pull them out pretty fast, right? Like they're not letting it go right to the end. Like I think they're pretty safe.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's hard to watch some of those ones. Big Boy got gassed so quickly.
Oh man,
in that last one. I mean, I know it's hard, but like I thought that he had a professional trainer, and they must train for like 5 rounds or whatever in training. So how do they get 2 rounds in and just start blowing and drop their hands? Yeah.
Dude, BitBoy was fat as fuck 3 years ago. Like, clearly not someone who has trained or done anything like for many, many years. And now, like in 2 or 3 years, he has like gotten really, really fit, trained a lot, but like stamina for a fight is something you build up over many, many years. It's not something you just get.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
but if you can't do 5 rounds,
you guys know better than me.
then...
Like, who could I be speaking to?
Lots of cardio.
Fighting cardio is
like
not the same as running cardio, right? Like, even if you're an awesome, because part of it is the experience of timing your energy. Because even if you're in excellent shape, right? Like, like for sure, like you guys are in better shape than me. You could last longer running, doing whatever. But like, I understand what kind of shape I'm in, so I know how much energy I have to reserve to make the whole 10-minute round, right?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. That's really interesting. I find that particularly with BJJ, because if you know when you're not in trouble and someone is like working hard to get like a submission or a choke or something, and you just don't even have to expend energy because you know that they will never get it from that position. And then it becomes like that physical chess sort of thing where you can just sort of conserve energy because you know that they're not going to get that. And then you can
let them wear themselves out.
Yeah. And then you just explode.
That's why at the higher belts, you only see submissions usually at the very end of the match where either guys are exhausted or they're throwing Hail Marys to try to make the points up, right? Because like purple belt and up, it's like nobody's getting a submission in the first like 43 seconds, right? It just doesn't happen, right? And then the other ones you do, and it's kind of more fun. But like, it's that last 30 seconds because they're exhausted or because somebody's trying something crazy, right? That's my experience. Anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
BitBoy is clearly he's a tough dude. Like, he's definitely someone who can.
He's got like
definitely someone who can take a bit of punishment.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's just I don't know. When you see
maybe not mayo punishment, but punishment.
No,
not at the state I'm in now after the silly season, but give me a few months.
But he's against his peers, right? Like, that's one thing Karate Combat seems to have done well, right? Like, if even like any one of us showed up there, they wouldn't put us with BitBoy. That wouldn't be one of the options, right? Like, those I've seen those fights with the influencers, and they're not way off, right? Like, it's like like BitBoy.
I mean, even Ansem,
like, he might have a chance. Either of them could have a chance. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Even Ansem had that massive reach advantage, but he was just such a Gumby that he just
not a tough guy.
he just nullified everything, and he just same deal.
Oh, you go.
What's that? No, I was just gonna say like 2 rounds in, it's just out. They're just like it's over. It's like, bro, they're like 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
What were you doing for the last 6 months of training if you weren't doing, at least 5-minute round, like 5-minute rounds in sparring? That's what training is.
Yep.
It's not just hitting a fucking bunch of mitts and pads and bags and stuff. Like, it's got to be proper training. Anyway, it just shits me to see like those sorts of fights. I can't watch them. It's the same as Jake Paul fights. I'm never again. I'm not going to watch any more Jake Paul stuff. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, well, those are all fake anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just not. I'd rather watch Street Buddha, to be honest, and Jake Lund, 100%.
We used to do this thing called Shark Tank, right? When you're prepping for a fight. Did you know what it is? Yep. We just got however many rounds you can, 4-minute rounds. Every 1 minute, a fresh person comes. Yeah,
fresh guy come in.
We used to do that. And go through the whole gym or not, right? Like, how many guys in the gym can you go before you get beat by the new white belt because you can't stand up anymore? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the Kumatai sort of thing, and I mean multiple attackers as well. Like, it's okay to train with multiple attackers. I do that. It's realistic, So
you got to show the first one, fight the second one mostly, though. It's kind of brutal.
We'll use them as some sort of human shield.
Yeah.
That's right. But anyway, it's all actually. There's a really cool. It's like a self-defense championship sort of thing on YouTube, which is worth watching. and it's like it's got all these different martial arts influences, and I think it's got that Jesse Enkamp guy, and then they put him in these different situations. I think it was done in Australia, and they sort of said, you know, you have to get out of like this building, and they had all these guys. It was like season 2, I think, and they had all these guys with like protection gear on and fake knives, like rubber knives, and they have to just get out of this building. And it's like, it's full on. It's like these guys are just attacking them with these like fake knives, and then Jesse's just jumping on their backs and trying to check this guy out, and this other guy's just attacking him. And they're all like Aussie like rugby players, so they're like, and they do different simulations. So there's like one where they're in a bus, and they just like have punch-ons in a bus, and you have to. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. It sounds like a good time. Because rugby guys, they may not know how to fight, but they can take the pain. So it'd be terrible.
It's hard to stop someone who's like intent on just like prison shivving you. You know, that's hard to stop. Like it's proper. You need to.
I would probably run away. That would be my plan.
Yeah, but if you're in a bus, like they simulate this stuff, like they're like you're in a bus and there's like this guy's just attacking, and they wear like mouth guards and stuff. But it's
or you're just sleeping.
Cool. They all get stabbed. You always, anytime you do any of that stuff with martial, because we do knife defense and like knife sparring, and you just get stabbed like heaps. So it's just very hard to.
Take one in a non-critical spot to deliver your critical blow.
Exactly. Yeah, you wear a lot on like your hands and things like that, and maybe your arms. But if you can get that death blow, that's what it's all about. So anyway, I'm not sure how we got onto that.
That's sidetracked a bit.
We always do.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump out, guys. Nice talking to you this week. I'll see you next time.
Cool, man. Cool.
See you, mate. I'm going to have to make a move too. I've just had some guests arrive here.
No worries, mate. Thanks so much. And thanks for the links as well, bro. I really appreciate that. There was some good content there that you shared with me. So thanks for that.
No worries. Try and stay up to date and we'll keep chatting.
Yeah. That's the way. Legend. Thanks, Mo. Enjoy your Aussie Day weekend.
Yeah, I'll try and make it on if I can, eh? I'll keep chatting to you behind the scenes.
That'd be sick, mate. Yeah, bring your Aussie Day, your stuff and
the Aussie flag.
That's it, big time.
Righto, see you, everyone.
Cheers, care. Mate. Catch up. Yeah, that's so funny. Then there was two. That's so funny. One guy mentioned the karate coin, and we just went on some massive tangent, and it ended with, and that's how you get the death blow. Anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, karate coin. Sorry to be on such a massive tangent. I don't know much about it. I would just have to look at the chart if I was going to, I just look at lines of support and resistance and moving averages and make my decision based on that. But in terms of there being like a mass adoption, I don't know. There's probably a lot of insiders and things. Sometimes you have to look at liquidity. You have to look at token distribution as well, because I don't know if that karate coin, whatever it was, has locked liquidity, or whether it, if it had a fair launch or whatever. So if they're paying the fighters in karate coin or whatever it is, what's the ticker?
No,
just so I'm not just.
I just pulled up a karate ticker, but I don't know if it's the right one or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I know in my Brave browser, sometimes when I open it, it'll say, like, it'll be a karate coin link, like it's like shilling that competition.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you're talking about, but maybe that's not it.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's the one that he was talking about. So I used to like watching Butterbean for 3. Butterbean was massive. He was so huge. Yeah, it's hard to stop someone that big.
They tire out fast, though.
That's true, and you can attack the legs. That is the other thing. If they don't block like roundhouse like leg kicks, then you just destroy their legs. But if he lands on top of you, you're in trouble.
It's bro.
Yeah, there is like weight classes for a reason.
Yep.
We need new tools for noobs, OG crypto crowds, so decentralized tools. Centralized exchanges work best. Yeah, whatever puts the most eyes on Hex. Agree. What is up, Finbear? Hopefully, your Finnish government can drop the red notice against old Richo. That would be good. See what you can do there for us, Finbear.
I think he hears that about 4 times a day.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've been on
every time
where he's there and he gets the same flack.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just that we only know one person from Finland, so we're like, he's our Finland bro. So we're just like,
come on, man, get on it.
It's like, yeah, that's like when people don't know a lot about Australia and they're like, oh, you're Australian. Oh, so tell me about kangaroos. Like,
yeah, or do you know Bob? I know a guy named Bob from Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's only 6 people.
Well, actually, there isn't that many people. That's the funny thing is that everyone in my city sort of knows each other. At some level.
I live in a town of 800 people. Well, I live in the middle of nowhere, and the closest town has 800 people, and so there you kind of know everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Australia is like, obviously massive, but we're very like we're concentrated on the coast effectively. So then the cities, there's still not that big population, but yeah, lovely country. If you ever
Canada
get a chance,
is very similar, like similar size population wise, and that spread out thing. Except for you guys are on the coast, and we're concentrated on the close to the American border, like in the warmer part of Canada. Right? There's not very many people in the north of Canada because you would die mostly. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's bear country.
Well, it's the cold more than the bears. The bears. Yeah,
I was gonna say, that's just my Aussie thing of like, oh, so you talk about kangaroos? It's like,
yeah.
What about
we
the bears,
do have bears, but the cold will kill you a lot quicker than the bears most days.
Yeah. We just don't have sub-zero temperatures here, like Celsius. Like, I mean, I guess we do.
In Australia, there's never snow anywhere.
No, there is like at altitudes. So there's like in New South Wales they have snowing resorts and things.
Okay, that's cool.
And because they've got, I think it's at the Blue Mountains or whatever it is, or Mount Kosciuszko, all that sort of stuff. I've never been there, but Thredbo, that might be in Melbourne or Victoria actually. Showing my ignorance because I'm from the West Coast, but in the Western Australia, yeah, there's no snow. It's just straight up desert.
Yeah.
If you get close to zero, like we had 45.5 degrees the other day, Celsius, which was about, I think it's about 114 degrees Fahrenheit.
I do Celsius too, so yeah, 45.
Yeah, That's 45.5. That's no joke.
We'd almost never see that. I've been to India and I've seen over 50 degrees. So I know the feeling. Like you pour a bottle of water in your head and you walk down the street for like a block and then your hair's dry, right? It's
wicked. It's crazy. I mean, I remember being in Dubai once and getting out of the plane at like 7 a.m. and it was like 40 degrees. And I was like, nice. And yeah, we had that the other day. I think it was 39 degrees here. And it was like at 8 p.m.
My memory of getting out of the plane in Dubai is you get out of the plane and you breathe in and you immediately know you're in India. There's a distinct India smell right away.
In India or in Dubai?
Oh, sorry. You said Dubai. I was thinking Mumbai in my head.
Mumbai. Okay. So I've never been to Mumbai.
Okay. No, yeah. I've never been to Arab Dubai. Emirates. So my apologies. It's getting late, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, man. We should probably wrap this up so you can get some sleep. Kung Fu Master told me how to win against a knife. Oh yeah, create distance and run. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's why that one when they're in the bus is really cool because sometimes you don't have anywhere you can get out of, or if your family are there or whatever.
Suitcase, bar stool, table.
Yes.
Right, cans of
anything's
beer,
a weapon.
Acquire weapons. Weapons are the best way to fight weapons.
Yeah, and put something in front of you that create a bit of a shield if you can, I guess. I've seen some effective.
Jacket off. If you got a jacket, you can use that. Wrap it around your arm.
Wrap it around your arm.
That's the old way. Or throw it on top of the knife, right? I remember they used to teach us that a long time ago. I don't think that's
Even with a belt, wrap the belt around the arm, and then using that as like a.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But who's got time for that? Like, you just be like, wait 1 second while I just wrap this belt around. Like, normally people if they're going to stab you, like, they'll be like hiding the knife. You know, that's the thing. So you got to be a little bit careful. If some fool comes at you with like some, like, oh, you know, then you'd be so much easier to stop that. But if they, like I say, if they do it the prison style, that's really hard to stop. So
that's a big problem. Yeah.
But yeah, you just got to punch them in the face, basically, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to punch people in the face, people. That's my advice.
Scissor kick.
Just scissor kick them to the face. Try not to go to the ground.
Right? Like, take out their legs.
Yeah.
And,
I've done that one.
Yeah.
You do the you plant off one hand and then you do the scissor across one leg behind, one leg in front, and you take down. But I don't like to go to ground when it comes to knife. I try and stay away from the ground if I can.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky.
Anyway, we should stop that because I will keep going. Touch wood, moving away, recognize escalation. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's right. If someone clenches their fist, it's on. Hans, what is up? Disappointing, Hans. Every time. Lobby the government, Finbear. Yes, true. Where is Big Rig? He was here earlier, but he had to go. Moose kill more than bears. Damn, moose are massive, man. I'm always spun out when I see.
But it's by hitting the moose with your car that you die.
That's kind of like with kangaroos.
And it's way more than bears, like many multiples more than bears. But it's like, you hit the moose with your car, and their legs are so long, right? Like a moose stands, like its legs are probably 5 feet in the air before its body starts, right? So you hit it, and if you're in a normal sized car, not a truck, then it falls on top of like the cab of the car, and you're done, right? Because it's like this 900-pound animal, right?
Yeah, and the antlers
that happens a lot.
Brutal. Yeah, I'm always surprised by how big moose are. Like when you actually see one, you're like, God damn, is that right? But the same again with kangaroos, man. If you see a kangaroo on its haunches or back, whatever it is, when it's on its tail and it's like right back and it like arches its chest up like this and it starts doing that, I'm talking they're like 7 foot tall. Like I
still prefer to hit it with my car than a moose. I think a camel would be the comparable one for you.
Yeah, I know, but no, I'm just saying if you're just walking and you see a bunch of kangaroos and on a golf course or whatever, and you sort of see them, and then you're like, no big deal, because like I'm like 6'1" and a half, but when I've seen those kangaroos do that, and I've looked at it and I'm like going, nope, that's bigger than me. Like holy crap, that's a big kangaroo. That's like 7 foot tall. That's a big kangaroo, eh? So,
they can be quite the kick. I've heard too. Eh? They can go back to the tail and like just knock you right down. That would suck.
Do the disemboweling. So
good.
Yeah.
Let's avoid that.
It's not trying to avoid that if you can on Australia Day, peeps. I think that's it. Face is better than the throat punch. Yeah, I guess. The chin is the button. But throat is good, but
depends on the person, right? Not everybody's got a glass chin.
Yeah, and people tuck it in and all sorts of things, and depends on the circumstance, But you have to be, I guess, ready for anything. That's the thing. But we should probably wrap it up. But thanks so much for coming on, Fast Abdul.
My pleasure.
Especially this time of night. Appreciate that. And thanks to Mayo and 43OG. Let us know if in the chat, in the comments, if there's things you want us to talk about next time, or tickers or anything in particular. If you like it when we talk about martial arts, or if you want us to just shut our big mouths about it, let us know. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it. And I hope everyone has an awesome Aussie day. Cool. All right. Thanks, chat. Thanks, Repo Gang. Catch us next time. See yous.